out of apartment 5B.
You're now tuned into the Apartment 5B podcast, where we chop it up about hip-hop, R&B, sports, love and life. Hosted by Kill.
What's good? You're to an Apartment 5B podcast hosted by your man Kill. I got my squad with me in effect as always. I got my little sis, the co-host, the dopest co-host on the planet. P, what's going on, Porsche?
Not a whole lot, Kill. Good to be here. I miss
All
you guys
right.
when I'm not here, and it's so good to see Penny too. So
Stop going on strike, and this won't be a problem. We got my brother Penny in the building. What's going on, P?
What's good, y'all? Man, I'm glad to be back. It's been a minute. Love being here. Missed y'all. Let's go.
Always, bro. Always. And my brother out of Brooklyn, Vague. What's going on, fam?
Man, my hair longer, Kill. I'm just joking. It's not.
Yeah, I don't know how you do this, yo. This dude will have a baldy on Friday and have fucking Allen Iverson braids in 2 months. Like, I don't know how this dude's hair grows that fast. Y'all know me. Let's jump right into it. Today, we are going to be talking about who has the dopest discography in hip hop. Why did this topic come up? Because Ray's new album came out, which I think is really dope. I think, what's it called? The Emperor's New Clothes or whatever. Is that what the name of it? I like it. It's a dope album. It's much doper than anything I was expecting. And I had said something. Somebody had asked me, and I was like, yeah, you know, I wasn't really expecting much. And we started talking, and I'm like, yo, Ray's got one classic album. Like, he's got one. You know what I mean? And like out the woodwork, everybody was just like, yo, but this album, but this. And I said, yo, I never said he's whack or he has trash albums. I said he had one classic. He has a lot of dope albums. Like, I think Only Built for Cuban Link, if it didn't have 89 songs on it, part 2, that would have been a classic. If we got that down to a good 14 songs, that would have been a classic, but we didn't. And then we started talking. I'm like, y'all be treating Ray like he's Ghost. Like, y'all talk about Ray's discography like it's Ghost discography, and it's not. Like, we're not going to sit here and act like Immobility was not maybe one of the worst sophomore albums of all time. Fuck hip-hop. I'm talking of all genres of music. Then there's one dude, dog. Yo, Vague, I've never had to do this. In 17 years of being on Twitter, I was like, dog, I'm not responding to you for 48 hours. Like, I'm not even going to respond to you. Because the nigga said, Immobility is a little underrated and Supreme Clientele is a little bit overrated.
What?
And I was like, you know what? Nah.
Why 48 hours, bro? Why 48 hours? Why respond at all after that?
Right. Yeah, you're right. But it's just like, yo, I can't even respond to that. Like, are you serious? Like, Immobility is a little underrated. Like, that was a trash ass album. Then another one of my peoples came in. Well, I don't blame Ray because, and I'm like, well, who the fuck else you gonna blame? It's his album. Like, yo, we gotta stop capping. So all this had me thinking about who has the dopest discography. So the way that I came up with this was to get into this conversation, to even get invited, you have to have at least 4 albums, minimum of 4. Number 2, you have to count the albums from the first to the 4th. You cannot, if somebody got 28 songs, you can't pick the connect 4 and the top 4, however you want. It got to be the first 4. And then what we're going to do, we're going to add up how many mics you give it. So somebody may say De La Soul has a total of 19. Somebody else may say De La has a total of 15. Whatever it is, we're going to total them up and just see who does have the dopest discography. But then we're also going to talk about some MCs that have huge discographies. I mean, Nas has 18 albums. You know what I mean? Jay has 14. LL has 14. Ice Cube has 11. You know, so the first thing I want to know is what makes somebody have a dope discography? Is it quality or quantity? Because I think sometimes with Ice Cube, I feel like the quantity has hurt him. Like, it's like if we would have stopped his discography after the 4th album, yo, may have one of the dopest discographies, but because he kept going. Another person, KRS-One, he's got like 21 albums out. You know what I mean? And there's just after maybe that KRS-One with Step Into the World, maybe if we would have stopped there, he would have. So sometimes having a bigger discography can hurt you, it can help you. But Porsche, talk to me. What do you think makes a dope discography? Are you more about quality or quantity?
I'm always more about quality. I think that there's MCs that appear on, like, for example, there's MCs that appear on my top lists, and they've got an extensive discography, but like their debut album is so strong that it sort of carries them and it gives them enough, ammunition and accolades that it actually ranks them, because they can't, and it's sort of like Nas with Illmatic, it's sort of like Snoop with Doggy Style, like you can't really top those albums. So I'm not Illmatic, like I think it was written, I just want to be very clear, it was written over Illmatic, but I know what the general populace thinks, that Illmatic is the greatest album of all time. So it's very difficult for some of those MCs to have really great discographies back to back, because their first debut was so good. And then there's some that have like you said, 21 albums, but they've got good runs, like they, and it's because they've managed in those few to do really, really well and be consistent. And maybe it's not as good as, let's say, a Doggy Style or Only Built for Cuban Links, but it's good. It's very dope. It's still 4.5 mics, 5 mics. And then they're able to replicate that in subsequent albums. So for me, it's quality. I don't really pay attention to the quality, to the quantity, but I do agree with you that naturally, and I think this is just always going to be the way, is the more projects you put out, obviously the more dips you're going to have, just because you've exhausted your ability, maybe your concepts, it starts to become maybe repetitive, something like that. So that's where I'm at with it.
All right, no doubt. And for me, it's definitely the quality. The quantity to me doesn't really, I guess it is dope to be like, yo, I got 18 albums out, but if only 6 of them are really good, you know what I mean? To me, it doesn't really mean that. Like the Roots got like 78 albums out, but I really only fuck with like 4 of them, like Hard Body, like really, really think they're great albums. Like I actually have a mixtape called Those Other, I think it's called Those Other Jones or something like that, because there's certain songs on all these albums that I like. Like there may be at least 4 songs on this album and 3 over here, but as a body of work, that doesn't really mean a lot to me. So I'm definitely on the quality versus quantity. Penny, what about you?
When we're talking about the best, the GOAT discography, I don't know if I can really just pick one only. It's got to be a sum of both a little bit, because it's got to be excellence quantified or consistent.
Right.
It's got to be, we're talking about 4 or 5 mics, 4.5, 5 mics over a span of a few records. You know what I mean? And I think a few people have done it. We're going to talk about it tonight. A few people have done it. And so, like you brought up Ghost, he has a whole lot of albums, but a lot of good ones, Yeah. So, that's what makes his, that's a versatile discography. That's really good. It's long, but it's also good. There's maybe a couple of dips in there, man, but like really, really solid. And you brought up Cube. Whom I got down because, when you talk about those first 4, right?
Yeah.
And he put Kill It Will in there. But yeah, after that, man, but I don't know if it's everybody's suffering from the same thing that Cube did. Change of style, change of, whatever, those kind of things. I don't know if it's always
Right.
like that. So I think it's got to be some of both.
All right, no doubt. And Vay, what about you? Quantity or quality?
I would say quality, but I think it's rare to find, like even in hip hop, some of the greats don't find all their quality within their first 4 albums, right? I think there's quality towards the back end for some of those who may have had a really dope debut album, but maybe the sophomore is not that great. But then maybe they put out better albums later. So having a quantity is good because you get more chances at doing that. But I think sometimes, to Portia's point, like you either have a really great album that almost dictates the rest. So sometimes it's just downhill from there, or you got a nice run and you're not able to either capture that or complement it by having a whole different run. You know what I'm saying? I think Nas is probably the only one to do something like that. As far as like with the Hit Boy run. But my preference is quality. If you're gonna take your time with your albums and they're always quality in one way or another, fine. But you could also be like Snoop, where you have something like Doggy Style, and then his next 3 albums was like Dogfather and 2 No Limit albums. But that last No Limit album was kind of dope, and then he started doing some other dope stuff with like Pharrell and all of that. So I don't think it's one way, but my preference is quality. So
Right. And then we're going to talk about groups who, like I said, who had a long run, because I think in hip hop is just so limited. You know what I mean? Most people don't have an opportunity. Nas, 18 albums, like that's not the norm in hip hop. Like, usually this is why a lot of people, I've heard people, and the reason why I had it where you had to have at least 4, because I've heard some people say some MCs who only have 3 albums have the dopest discography. And I'm like, yo, we got to have a starting point. Like, to me, a discography got to be minimum of 4. So, Porsche, let's start with you. Ladies first, as always. And we're doing hip hop and R&B if y'all have them. If not, we can just do all hip hop. Who is the first group that you felt? And what I did, I'm sorry for people watching, I asked people to get 5 discographies, hip hop and R&B if they want. Rate each album, then come up with what that total is. And then at the end, each person will know that this total is, this is the person, this dopest discography that killed things. Because again, we could have the same group, but Penny and I may have different mic ratings for Stakes is High, or we may have different mic ratings for Strictly Business or something like that. So that's kind of like what the rules are. The groups have to have at least 4 albums. We're going to add up the first 4 albums with how many mic ratings you think they deserve. And we're going to see kind of like what is that magic number that you have to get to. So P, what's your first group?
Does it only have to be groups?
No, MCs too. I'm sorry, no, anybody.
Thank God, because anybody. I don't really have. Well, okay. I'm going to start. Wait, can I ask a question? Yeah. I just want to know if you guys found this topic to be hard or easy to do. Can we talk about that, or do you want to talk about that later?
No. We can talk about that. I mean, I know for me it was kind of easy just because I've had these discussions so much about who has the dopest discographies, and y'all know, for people watching, I'm an educator, so everything to me is like in a school ratio of like math, where it's like, okay, what's the percentage? Because if I got 18 albums, but 16 of them are whack, then I can't have the dopest discography just because I've got 18 albums, because my percentage is crazy. Your shooting percentage is whack type thing. So for me, it was easy because I kind of knew these are the groups who I think have the dopest discography. That's why I kind of threw in at the 25th hour, like throw a slept on person on there, like somebody who does have the numbers add up to a high ranking, but nobody really ever talks about their albums like that. So for me, it was easy. But Penny, what about you? Was this easy?
I mean, similarly, I've had these discussions, so I had like the ideas, but I went back also and I wanted to like check it out. And then I was like, who did I miss? Or who did I forget? Because I've been off Twitter for a minute. It wasn't hard, but what was hard is the same thing that I thought about, like with everybody else. It's like everyone's gonna see. I mean, people might have different mic counts, you know what I mean, and that's gonna like make things a little bit different. And also the fact that it's the first 4 in consecutive. I know that right off the bat, a lot of us can think of somebody who doesn't have a great first album,
right?
But killed it, right. And so Gangstar, is the first one that'll come, right? I mean, a lot of people talk about Gangstar and Mom, but I don't know if it was hard. It just like came down to like, and I ended up with some, a few of the same mic counts, because I even had to do some 4 or 4.5, 5, just to like differentiate, to be able to like, okay, I'm cool with going all 5 mics with this one, if gun to head or whatever the hell, like that. So not hard, but I had to like put in some work, Porsche. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Veg?
I mean, initially, when you start thinking about something, it was, but after I got like one down, I started thinking about all the artists I talk about anyway, and probably got 15. But that was just more so to have a couple in the chamber, but yeah, after a while, it became easy. Like it was like a domino effect.
So.
Now, P, what about you? Was it hard?
I'm kind of like Vegas. Like once I got the first one, I was like, oh, and then like Penny said, it was difficult when you have to eliminate the first one. Like if you look at the debut and you're like, I really have to factor in Juvenile Hell. Like, okay, I can't really do that, or yeah. So for me, it was I was surprised at how easy it was, and these were just like kind of off the top. Like if I really sat down and dissected it, I would probably like Veg have like 15 or 20, because yeah, I mean and I liked your parameters, Kill, because you took Big out. Like otherwise I would have been like Biggie, you know what I mean, and he's only got 2 joints. So I did like that you kind of made it a little more difficult and a little bit more thought-provoking. So yeah, I definitely enjoyed this, getting this stuff together for it. So,
and I think it's too because me and Penny was texting throughout the week, even with a mob type thing. If you think their next 3 albums were all 5 mics, and that's 15 right there, and you think Juvenile Hell was 2 mics, I mean that's 17. Like so,
yeah.
2 mics.
It's kind of now to me, everybody on my list is 18 or better. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So that's why certain people didn't even make my list, because I started doing it and I was like, everybody's averaging 18 or better. So mm-hmm. I could put Mob, but they're not going to make it because of Juvenile Hell.
Right.
You know what I mean? Right. So, I mean, either which way. So, P, who you got first?
I'm going to start with Tupac.
Okay.
And I love this because Pac actually has 4 studio albums that he recorded while he was alive, and all of them are dope as hell to me. And I know there's going to be quite a few people that aren't going to agree, but you've got Tupacalypse Now, Strictly, Me Against the World, and All Eyes on Me, which to me is arguably the best double album in hip hop. So for me, Pac actually kind of knocks it right out of the park. I have him at like 18 and a half.
Okay.
So
but what are your mic ratings per? I'm interested in what you gave each one.
I got Tupacalypse Now at 4, Strictly at 4.5, and then Me Against the World and All Eyes on Me at 5. Even though that second disc isn't the greatest ever, but to me as a whole project, it is very solid because the first one does kind of carry it. And again, I love that Pac he released them like 91, 93, 95, and 96. Like these are powerhouse years for hip hop. And the fact that he was able to come in that strong out the West, like he's.
And what is it again? It's Tupac Apocalypse with 4, Strictly for My Niggas a 4, Me Against the World a 5, and what's the next one?
All Eyes on Me at 5, but I have Strictly at 4.5.
Oh yeah, Strictly at 4.5. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. You got any R&B for us, or you strictly hip hop?
Nope, I didn't. Right. I couldn't. I'm strictly hip hop. Yeah.
All right. First one I had up, who I think nobody gets talked about the most. Nobody gets talked about. People don't talk about a lot, especially with this newer generation. And this really kind of came from my peoples over at Rap Roundtable. And my guy was saying if this album they just dropped, which I do think is a 5 mic album, we just did that show last week, is a 5 mic album, then do the Clips go down as the greatest duo of all time. You know what I mean? And the first person I was like, well, we just gonna forget about EPMD. You know what I mean? So for me, I got Strictly Business, which dropped in 88. That's 5 mics for me. Unfinished dropped in 89. I got that at 4.5. Business as Usual dropped in 90, which is 4.5. and then Business Never Personal in 92, which is 5, for a total of 19. Now, I've been amongst hip hop heads who say all 4 of them are 5 mics. I'm not mad at that because, again, I'm giving 2 of them 4.5. So off rip, EPMD could have a perfect total score of 20. And I wouldn't be mad at anybody who did have them with a perfect score of 20. And if that's the case, to me, EPMD is winning because I don't have nobody close to that. So I got EPMD at 19. Then for R&B, I went to Mary with What's the 411 in 92, 5 mics. My Life in 94, 5 mics. I'm not the biggest Share My World dude, so Share My World in 97, I got at 4 mics. And then Mary, the self-titled album in 99, I got that at 4.5 for a total of 18.5 on the R&B tip. So we got that. Penny, what you got first up for hip-hop for us, man?
All right. So, like in my head, I had the idea of which acts is going to be, but I didn't really realize that these guys was going to be on the top. Again, probably because I haven't talked about it in a minute, but I got De La. I got 3 Feet at 5. I got De La Is Dead at 5. I got Balloon at 5. I got Stakes at 4.5, and I'll give it 5, and I won't argue a 5. All right, but I got it at 4.5, so 19.5.
All right, so you got De La at 19.
I was surprised a little bit, but not really, because I think I've had this conversation before. I mean, to me, those albums, I can't knock them down. I was trying to, but at least to me, I think Stakes is the only one I can take down to 4.5. So De La 19.5.
All right, I'm not mad at that. Any R&B or strictly hip hop?
Nah, I didn't do any. You didn't tell me, man.
My bad. I thought I put it in the text, man. My text be.
You know what though? I wouldn't have done it anyways. So I shouldn't have said that.
It's all good, bro. Veg, who you got up first for you?
Up first, I got Ghostface. Iron Man, I give that a 4.5. Supreme, a 5. Bulletproof Wallets, I give a 4.5. I know some people may give it lower because depending on what CD you bought, it was a different album. But I thought it was comparable to Supreme Clientele. But I take a mic off just for that whole mix up. And Fish Scale 4.5, so 18.5.
All right.
Can I ask Vegas questions?
Of course, you're the co-host. You don't
Vegas,
have to ask if you can ask questions.
Vegas, how are you giving Fish Scale and Iron Man the same mic rating? What is happening there?
I don't have that nostalgic memory of stuff like that. There's songs that I skip on both, but it's not many. So I feel like they happen at 2 different times in his career. But
Vegas gonna get bombarded with questions.
No, it's not like that. Wasn't Pretty Tony after that, or was Fish Scale before Pretty Tony?
I thought Fish Scale was next, unless I got it wrong.
Okay, see, the only thing that I was thinking about, because I know More Fish came out after Fish Scale, right?
Right.
First 4: Iron Man, Not Supreme, Bulletproof. Yeah, Pretty Tony. Pretty Tony came in 2004.
I would give Pretty Tony. I give that
to me, because Fish Scale, because I got Ghost down later on. So to me, if I could, I wanted to use Fish Scale because to me, Fish Scale is just about a 5 micer.
Yeah, you're right, Penny. Pretty Tony.
So Pretty Tone, I would give a 4.
Fish Scale is bananas. You want me to tell you no, this is Vague's part. Tell her the tracks, bro.
From
I'm
you didn't like Fish Scale, Porsche?
I mean, look.
Like album, like why are we putting that on? That's the rating I give Ready to Die. I'm not about to put Fish Scale next to, like, stop.
Oh, Fish Scale had Shaky Dog, Kilo, The Champ.
Right.
Shaky Dog.
Some Ragu is on here.
Right there.
Whip You With a Strap.
Whip You With a Strap. Like, it's.
I mean, here's the thing. I would give it a 4, but for another mic, here's the thing, P. For me, a half a mic ain't that deep. Like, you know what I mean? I think it's a 4 mic album. If somebody says a 4.5, I mean, it's a 0.5. You know what I mean? Maybe you like 3 more songs that I did.
But a 0.5 knocks it from not a classic to a classic. Between a 4 and a 4.5 for some people, like myself, that's the difference between a classic and not.
Okay.
That is the difference between my list and yours.
Oh my God, Vegas.
Get it? Because strictly for my niggas, that was way too high. But I didn't say anything because I don't really
Fair.
mess with that.
Fair.
Yeah, and I was even gonna be like, yo, P, like me against which one is the double album?
All Eyes on Me.
You said the second this ain't that good. So it's like, how can the
I
second
said
this not be
it's
that
not
good?
as good as the first, but it's still a 5 mic album to me.
But if it's not as good as the first, that means there's a couple of songs on there that's not great.
Right, but there's enough that the first disc carries it for me, and in my opinion, that's the best double album in all of hip hop. Period.
Right,
Like,
but it goes back to Veg's point. Like that's why I'm like, I don't beef with people over their mic ratings because it's what it meant to you.
I just the only thing is, I guess where my question is more is, where did Iron Man lose the half a mic? Like, these are not the same albums. Do you know that? Like, Iron Man is a very, very, that's a 5 mic album to me. I'm not getting it 4.5, but like, I just feel like it far exceeds Fish Scale. That's all I'm saying.
Here's the thing. Yeah, I'm not going. I don't think we can argue like we can't argue mics, right?
Right.
But to me, the idea, I mean, and obviously anybody can look at it the way they want, but the idea that because one album is 5 mic, and I'm going to compare it like apples to apples like that, and try to like dissect it to the point, like, you know, Ready to Die is not the same as what? I mean, there's so many 5 mic albums that there's levels maybe, but there's many that can enter. You know what I'm saying? So like Iron and Supreme, they're up here. I mean, shit. You listen to Ghost interviews, he'll tell you something different. You'd be like, man, Iron was terrible. I was in a bad place and this, that, and whatever. To us, it's incredible, right?
Right.
But, you know, like there's so many other albums. Like Main Source is 5 albums. Common has 5 albums. There's so many 5 mic albums. You know what I'm saying? Ice Cube has 5. You can't like compare them. Like you can't say like, oh, I mean, at least I can't say this album's not better than Ready to Die. There's so many 5 micers at this point. That's my.
And you know what, P? That's a great thing because for this joint right here, I gave this 5 mics.
Yeah.
And one of the boys on my timeline was like, so you're saying this shit is as good as fucking Illmatic and this is as good as Ready to Die and I'm like, bro, just slow down for a second, fam. What I'm saying is it makes the all-star team. If Trae Young makes the all-star team, does that mean he's as good as Magic, Bird, and Jordan? No, there's no comparison. He's just now able to say, I'm an all-star. That's something that when he retires, he'll be able to put on his list of accomplishments that he was an NBA all-star. So I think that's the thing, P. Like, I know for me, I can't be like, oh, well, Fish Scale is 5 mics. I can't give Fish Scale 5 mics because it's not as dope as like Iron Man or something like that. I mean, it's just different things. I don't think this album is better than. Here's the thing, y'all. I'm one of those people. Illmatic don't even make my top 5. And when I said that shit on Twitter, niggas lost their mind. Like, yo, who makes the top 5? And oh my God, what do you? Niggas, I'm old. I'm like Run DMC's debut. You know, By Any Means Necessary, Criminal Minded, Paid in Full, It Takes a Nation. Like, I can maybe Illmatic makes my top 10, maybe, but. When you're as old as I am, I've seen too much great hip hop before Illmatic even came out. So I think that's the thing. Like, there's no way I'm saying that this album.
Go back to the basketball analogy, right? We're not doing the top 75 of all time. We're doing
it's just about making. Yeah, we're just making you make the all-star.
We're not doing the greatest players of all time.
Right.
And you know, those 75 players, they're not all the same. 75 of the greatest players in there, they're not all the same. You know, I mean, you got MJ, you got LeBron, you got Bill Russell, and then you got some people like over here.
You got some people who people are like, nigga, why are you in the top 75?
Right.
You know, there's some questionable people in there. Like James Harden is in the top 75. I think AD is in there. I
think Anthony Davis is in there.
Fair.
Yeah. So again, like I said earlier, I know all our mic ratings are gonna be off. You know, maybe Vegas Quik. Vegas just thanks, P. Thanks, P. You've been back. You've been back a half an hour and already got niggas tapping out. Thanks, P.
Oh my goodness.
We ain't even get no. Vegas did ghost. So P, who you got up next?
Me or Penny?
Yeah,
you call it.
No, I'm sorry. I call y'all both P. Porsche. I apologize. You're next.
Okay. I've got Outkast next. So obviously Southern Playalistic, ATLians, Aquemini, and Stankonia, and I think that's an incredible run. Yeah, I mean, they just, oh my God, Outkast, I don't know what, I don't even know if I need to elaborate, because they came out strong, and then they just pushed the envelope and just did amazing. So I actually have the first 3 at 5 mics and Stankonia at 4. So I got 19 for Outkast, and yeah.
I'm not mad at that. I got Outkast. But I actually got Stankonia at 4.5. So I have them coming out with a 19.5.
Nice.
So, I'm not mad at Cast either. Bay, you got so pissed at Portia's questions you left, man?
I apologized in your absence, Vegas.
You was like, fuck this shit, man.
I wouldn't be back if that was the case. I lost sound, so I couldn't even hear anything. So.
Oh, okay. All right. We just did Outkast. Porsche had Outkast with a total of the first 3, 5 mic, Stankonia 4. I just did Outkast, first 3, 5 mic. I got Stankonia at a 4.5. So she has them at a 19. I got them at 19.5. On the R&B tip, I don't know why. I don't know why people... We got to do a show about why do people just all of a sudden stop fucking with people. Like, for a minute, Alicia Keys was the shit, and then, like, the next day, nobody fucked with her anymore.
That's true.
Like, there was a minute when Justin Timberlake was the shit, and then just all of a sudden, we stopped fucking with Justin Timberlake. So, but I don't give a fuck, because I fuck with Justin. So, I got Justified, his debut, at 4. Future Sexy Love Sounds at 5. The first 2020 Experience at 5. The second 2020 Experience at 4, for a total of 18, which is pretty damn good, man. I'm not gonna hold you. That Future Sex Love Sounds and that 2020 first joint, to me, that's just Timbo and Justin in they bag. So I got that on the R&B tip. Penny, who do you have next up for hip hop?
All right, so since I was going to be on, I knew there was going to be at least 1 or 2 instances of old head situation. So this might be it. But Eric and Ron, bro. Look, I got the first 3 at 5. All right?
Okay.
People can argue with that, and that's okay. I have Tech at 4.5, but that's a great album, too. But to me, I cannot knock those other 3. And even if I try my hardest, like, Let the Rhythm Hit 'Em is there's so many dope, it's like a complete album. You know what I mean? So I think sometimes it get left off a little bit, but it shouldn't. You're talking about Large Professor, right? On the production.
On the third album, yeah. Let the Rhythm Hit 'Em, yeah. Yep.
So that's what I got, and I got him at 19.5, man.
All right. I ain't mad at that. Nope. Vague, who do you have up next for yours?
Y'all said y'all did Outkast?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with Outkast also. So I got Southern Playalistic at 4.5, ATLians at 5, Aquemini at 5, and Stankonia at 4 for 18.5.
All right.
Any issues with that, Porsche?
No, not at all. I gave Southern Playalistic 5 mics though, but yeah.
Porsche the crossing guard. She making sure everybody's mic checks are right.
Sorry, Vegas.
So it seems everybody's coming in with some 19s and some 19.5s and some 18s and some 18.5. So we getting there. Porsche, who do you have up next?
I'm gonna go with one of my favorites, DJ Quik. And I know you guys are not going to agree, and I already know you guys are going to think my mic ratings are way too high. And I don't care. I love DJ Quik, and I love his discography, and I love, well, the first four. And so I got Quik is the Name at 5 mics. I've got Way Too Funky at 4.
Jesus Christ, 5 mics? The first joint?
Quik is the Name is a 5 mic album to me.
Yo, the debut, man.
It's unbelievable.
Let me fall back. He had the perm, so I never heard it. So I've just never heard anybody give it 5 mics. So anybody watching, I don't want them to be like, "Kill, you ain't heard that album." I haven't. I've just never heard anybody give it 5 mics before. That's the only reason why I was asking.
I got Quik is the Name at 5. I've got Way Too Funky at 4. Safe and Sound I got at 4.5, and I got Rhythmalism at 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So 18.5.
And just in current DJ Quik news, I guess someone tweeted that.
Current? Oh, no, we're not going back to show me your resume. I had to post that for 10 people.
No. I just wanted to say that it's going around because Quik has been posting this like left, center, and right on his stories, on his IG timeline, like that somebody tweeted that Quik is the
person who Dre should be.
You guys think Dre is. And this has been said a couple of times. Like, I didn't even bat an eye when I heard that because I was like, it is what it, like, I've heard this a lot. Quik picks this one thing up, and this is like blowing up all over the place. Why does that happen?
Quik did this shit before. This is the reason why we did the show called I Gotta See Your Fucking Resume.
Yeah.
Like, here's the thing, and somebody was on Twitter, and it's like, yo, but Quik is a whole musician, and I'm like, I don't give a fuck if he's a whole musician.
Right.
If we're looking at producers, because that's what Dre is. I've never heard Dre. I don't know. Dre plays piano. Dre brings in musicians. Right. So the end of the day, Quik got to stop this shit, man. This is some nut ass shit, and on some real shit, I think it makes him look bad. That you're just sitting here, yo, I should be what Kobe is. I should be what Kobe is. Oh, somebody had the ball.
It is a weird look. I love DJ Quik. I am the first person. Right.
It's not a good look.
It's not a great look.
It looks like some nut ass shit. It looked like you capping for Dre, and like we did on the resume show. If Quik decided, you know what, I'm not going to do a lot of outside production, I'm going to just keep everything in-house for me, that's a beautiful decision. But years later, you will regret it, because when you tell me Quik is better than Dre, I'm going to say, let me see your fucking resume. So if I throw out Nothing But a G thing, what are you throwing out that Quik has that's better and bigger than Nothing But a G thing?
Right.
Then I'm going to throw out Deep Cover. What does Quik have that is bigger or doper than Deep Cover?
Right.
Then I'm going to throw out The Chronic on the table.
Right.
And everything you just named, maybe whatever it is, it ain't the fucking Chronic.
Right.
I'm going to throw Doggy Style on the table.
Totally. And you would be completely valid in saying that. You would be very valid in saying that. I bring this up because as much as I love DJ Quik, this whole scenario doesn't really sit all that well with me. Like, I'm kind of like, really, like, what? I don't know. It's a weird look for sure. And I think Quik should just move on from that, to be honest.
Yeah, it's some nut ass shit that he really has to let go. It'd be like Pete Rock just sitting around, like somebody be like, yo, Pete is what Primo is, and Pete's retweeting it like, yeah, see, I should be what Dilla is. Nigga, just be who the fuck you are. Right. Vague, you were gonna say something?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think the first time he said it was almost like he was trying to be funny. You know what I'm saying? Because he tends to be a real humorous dude.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
So I thought he was trying to play on that, but because it was like him saying it again, it was like, oh, nah, you really believe that? Because the thing is I think he's looking at musicianship from the standpoint of he plays instruments, so he should be better than a beat maker kind of thing, right? But it's producer. And however you produce, whether you play the instruments or you know how to put that shit together for something beautiful, that's what matters. And with Dre, he's done it time and time again with a signature sound. Like Quik has a signature sound also. But to your point, Kill, because you kind of kept your music insulated to a certain crew or certain group of individuals, if those songs didn't pop as much as Dre working with Nas and Jay-Z and and all these different people, you're automatically never really going to have the best quality, because Jay is better than whoever from whatever hood you produce for, kind of thing. So yeah, it's like a non-starter, but you're right. Like, stop stoking those flames, man. Like, just
Yeah,
stop.
it's not a good look. It was the same thing when D-Dot was on Math Hoffa, like, y'all give Dilla all this love, but look at what I did. Like, dog, just do you. Like, just
Right.
put your blinders on and just focus on your career.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and again, but here's the decisions people make. D-Dot, you decided to go after the bag. You wanted the bag.
Yeah.
You don't get the same love that the underground producers do because you didn't do the underground shit. So it's the same thing with Quik. You decided to keep it in-house and knew that. Well, guess what? 20, 30 years later, your name ain't going to be mentioned.
Right.
You know what I mean? And what you got to just stand on is, well, I kept my sound for me. You know what I mean? Same thing with D-Dot. Yo, you got the bag, you got the royalty checks. You can say, I did big, I did this, I did that. You can't come back 30 years later like, why don't I get love like Dilla? Why don't you just say, why am I not getting as much love as what I think I deserve?
Right.
I produced the Benjamins.
Right.
I did. Why do you have to put another person's name in the mix to say, why am I not getting love like that person? Just say, why am I not? I think I deserve more love for what I gave to the game. Just say that and leave it the fuck alone.
Right.
But when you mention other people's names, that's where the nut ass shit comes in. You know what I mean? I think Apartment 5B needs more props, but you'll never see me being like, oh, Apartment 5, but y'all love Joe Budden, but y'all don't love us. Like, you're never going to see me talk like that.
Right.
I may say I think we deserve more props for I think all the jewels that we drop, but I'm never going to be like, Joe Budden's make $20 million a year, but I don't make like that. That's not a good look. And again, maybe it's just the way that Philly raised me, but you just don't do that. What you going to say, Penny?
I mean, not that I condone it or anything like that, but I mean, we already are 30 years later. He's already feeling the way he's feeling. He knows that he's one person in the studio and he's mad that there's a gang of people in Dre's studio. I mean, there's a lot of different levels to it. And I think it's probably just comes down for what you said. He just does not feel like he has the appreciation. I mean, fans really appreciate him. You know what I mean? But you know how it is. I mean, I think he's already stuck in that place because it's already been 30 years that he's been in the back of Dre. You know what I mean? Doesn't matter what he's done. So, yeah, it's not a good look.
I just think the hard part, too, is that, when you think about it, why didn't the Knicks win a chip? Because Jordan was in the way. Why didn't the Indiana Pacers win a chip? Because Jordan was in the way. Right. People have said, hey, Olajuwon never wins the chip if Jordan doesn't retire. You see what I'm saying? So Jordan stopped a lot of people from getting championships. Barkley, Malone and Stock. There's a lot of greats who Jordan stopped because he was in the way. And the thing is you had to beat him. And nobody could beat him. Dre is what most people look at as West Coast producer is Dr. Dre. If you wanted to beat Dre, then you know what? You should have went out and found a fucking Snoop. You should have went out and found a fucking Eminem. You should have fucking founded a Death Row Records. Yeah. If you want to be in competition with people, if I'm sitting back and I'm like, damn, the Bulls always kicking our ass. Who we got to trade for? What we got to do? If we want to compete with that, but you can't just sit back in the cut. So again, I just think at the end of the day, Dre is always, and I think it's premium for the East Coast. I think when most people think of dopest producers, especially on the East Coast, is going to be Preem. You know what I mean? But again, I've never seen it. I'm not saying Pete don't do it behind closed doors, but I've never seen Pete Rock come out and outwardly be like, why don't y'all love me as much as y'all love Preem?
Right. I
don't see him do that for Dilla. I don't see Pete saying, why don't y'all love me as much as you love fill in the blank? And to me, that's weird to me. Like, to be like, yo, why don't you love me as much as, like, outside of like your pop being like, yo, why you love my sister more? Like, I just don't understand niggas' rationale to be like, I get it being like, why don't I get more props? Question mark. Just leave it there. I don't understand why don't I get as much love as fill in the blank? Because now you just sound like you jealous.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, totally.
I'm not saying that he is. I'm not saying that he is.
But it looks that way.
Sounds like you're jealous. Like that's a problem. Like, to me, that's just like what Jay say. Mel shouldn't be jealous. That's a female trait. And here's the thing: no disrespect to women, no me too, because men do get jealous. I was just quoting Jay before women lose their goddamn minds. I wasn't saying that. But hold up, Veg. Penny wanted to say something first. What are you gonna say, Penny?
Oh no, real quick, and then Vay can go. I remember now hearing that. I was hearing on the radio just the other day, Grandmaster Caz talking about this, and he said that DJ Quik, his complaint is that like he never had a big machine behind him. So like you said, why didn't you get the big machine? You know what I mean? Why don't you go to those big, you know? But I feel you. But that's what he said. That's what he actually said.
Yeah. What are you gonna say, Veg?
He Quik wasn't on Ruthless early, no?
Quik was on Profile. If I'm not mistaken,
Profile.
the first album was Profile.
Profile.
I'm not sure where it went from there, but I know like the first two, he was on Profile.
Okay. Well, I was just kind of reiterating what you said, man. I think he should say what it truly is that he felt underappreciated, and he shouldn't.
Right. Yeah, I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
You know, because I would agree with Quik with that, right?
Yeah.
He is underappreciated. It's not like he just did records with a bunch of underground niggas. He got some heavy hitters on his track list also. But when you feed the social media machine, which is all about hot takes, that's what people are gonna think. Oh, you agree with that shit? So,
Right. And now I know if I'm Dre, I'm looking at you like this word? This what you talking about, nigga? Like this where we at?
right.
Like you retweeting, oh, somebody finally had the balls to say it? Like, oh, so you've been feeling like this for some kind of way now. You know what I mean? Which again,
like that, I've seen that tweet from different people like at least 10 times already over the years.
right, but has Quik doubled down on it?
Exactly.
Like,
He hasn't. And that's why
Right,
I'm
so that's
wondering
the thing.
why it's coming around again. Like it's weird. So anyway.
Of course, you all know all we do on Twitter is what's better, ready to die, or
Yeah,
fucking.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
it's the same shit. It just comes in cycles. It's just
in cycles.
it comes every season that somebody's gonna bring up what's better, Liquid Swords or fucking, Cuban Links. Like this happens all the time. So it's just that time of the month, and I guess it was just this time that Quik decided to jump on it. But again, it's just not a good look. You know what I mean? I'll never understand that. But all right, so that was the Quik piece of it. The next person I got up, I'm gonna go with Kendrick Lamar.
Oh, nice.
For a newer artist. Now I know people can look at this different ways because some people started with Section 80, some people started with Good Kid, Mad City. I always go off of your major label debut. Same thing with the Roots. They feel like Organics is their first album. I'm always gonna go with Do You Want More? So depending on how you define it, I got Good Kid, Mad City 2012. That's 5 mics. Pimp a Butterfly 2015, 5 mics. I got Damn 2017 at 4.5 mics. And I know me and Naomi, the only people who like the Big Stepper album, I give that a solid 4. That dropped in 2022 for a total of 18.5. So for me, personally, I feel like Kendrick, of the newer artists that, like I said, Good Kid is 2012. I feel like he has the dopest discography of like the new millennium of the post 2000s of hip hop. Then an R&B, I've got Maxwell, got Urban Hang Suite with 5 mics. I got Embria with 4. I got Now with 4, and I got Black Summer Nights with 5 for a total of 18. And then I'm not mad at anybody who got Embria or Now at 4.5, but I do both think they're both at least 4 mic albums. So I got Maxwell coming out with a total of 18. Penny, who you got next up, bro?
All right. So EPMD. I mean, you can't talk. I mean, look, I peeped that Clips album. It's real dope. But anybody talking about best duo of all time is on crack. So I got Strictly Business at 5, Unfinished 4.5. As usual, to me, bro, I feel As Usual is so good that it's been hard for me to decide which one is better, this or Strictly. That's like how strongly I feel about As Usual. I mean,
Right.
and then you got Redman dropping on that, you know. And then Never Personal 4.5. I mean, super dope album too. Like, and how they came to the new era with a really dope album. Nobody really was doing that, you know.
Right.
Like into the 90s, you know what I mean? So yeah, I give him props for that. 19.
19.
Yeah.
So we come out with the same. Me and you come out with the same amount for EPMD. Different mic ratings on the album, but we both get to the 19 at the same point. I think for me, Strictly, I think it was the rollout for Strictly. And Penny, you was on the show when we talked about this before with a lot of 80s albums, because most of the albums that dropped in 88, we had already heard at least 50% of the album on the radio. Like we heard You're a Customer. We heard God, what's the other one, Penny? You're a Customer. No, before that. It was their first two 12 inches was I'm a Customer and oh God, man.
It wasn't You Got to Chill.
No. Even before that, it was Sugar I'm housing with the phone floor. You got to chill. It's my thing. You're a Customer. Damn, it was Your Customer. It's my thing. I'm bugging. It's my thing. Those were the first two things that was playing on the radio. Then we got the Strictly Business and You Got to Chill. Then we got the album. So we had already heard 4 of the 10 songs, and DJ Kayla Boss ain't no real song anyway, and it's Steve Martin. But so we heard the bulk of this almost before it even dropped. But I think this is great. So this is the only reason why I have this as my favorite, just because of the rollout. I remember listening to the radio and just being hyped every time you'd hear the helicopter before It's My Thing came on. It was the whole thing for this. But I don't think, I want to know Penny and Portia's thing on this. Vay, I can't remember if we talked about this. Something that was on the timeline is, what is a duo? Because when my man said, hey, Clips could be the best duo, I was like, oh, we just gonna forget about Run DMC? But then mad niggas was like, well, yo, Run DMC had Jam Master Jay, but I'm like, but it was only 2 MCs rhyming, and then somebody was like, well, I would say EPMD was a duo. And I'm like, but they had DJ Kayla Boss and they had DJ Scratch, Vague, we did talk about this because you had on the Tribe shirt and it was like, well, are Fife and Ali a duo because it's 2 rappers, but they got a DJ with Ali, or is it because of the name? Like it's Tribe Called Quest. If they were called Tip and Fife, are they a duo? Or is a duo Gangstar? Is a duo Eric B and Rakim? So Porsche, for you, how do you define what a duo? What is a duo for you?
A duo for me is, I actually take it quite literally. So a duo for me is 2, whether that's 2 MCs, a MC and a producer, but 2. If there's 3, that's a group. So I differentiate duo and group. So 1 is an MC, a single solo MC, 2 is a duo, and 3 or more is a group, period.
Okay. So is EPMD a duo or a group?
A group.
Because DJ Scratch?
Yes, correct.
Okay. Penny, what about you?
All right. So it's going to be on the situation, because a duo, all right, EPMD is 2 MCs, so a duo of MCs. Gangstar is a duo, a DJ and an MC. So they're both duos, but not the same. So I mean, but like when we talk about, we're going to compare them, I'm going to be comparing EPMD with Mobb Deep. I'm going to be comparing them with Helter Skelter. I don't know that, that's where I'm going. All right. And Gangstar is Eric and Raw, Cool G Rap and Polo. You got plenty of situations like that. So that's, I don't know.
Right. So you just have it where they're both duos, but when I'm comparing them to what they're leaned up against. So I'm not going to compare Gangstar to Clips. I'm going to compare. I see what you're saying. All right. Makes perfect sense. Vague, what about you?
I'm the same way as Penny, because if I'm thinking about what the duos contribute to the group, it's tough to compare a duo like EPMD, even though they produce, but EPMD, who are primarily being looked at as how they rap as a duo and stuff like that, to Smith and Wesson, that makes sense. 2 rappers. But it's kind of unfair if it's Gangstar, because Guru's the only one rapping, and Premier he's a part of the group as a result of, making the production. They're a duo, they work together. Even if it's 3, they all work together. But As an MC, when I hear duos, I just think about two people rapping, whether they have a DJ or not. So
Yeah, and I think I'm a mixture of like Vague and Penny, because EPMD to me was always a duo, and I think what it is for me is, and this is why I always say on the timeline and in life, we all have different definitions for the same word, because even though I think it's something about the name. Like if the name of the group was EPMD and DJ Scratch, then I feel like I would look at them as a group. But I always felt like Scratch was kind of like the outlier. Like he was a DJ, but he wasn't really part of the group. Like he was a DJ for hire. Like even when they're touring now, I don't know about now, but there was a time when they was beefing because they was like, we're not taking Scratch on the road because he wants so much money, and we could just have somebody play the songs for us or whatever. Or same thing with Salt and Pepper. So P, what is Salt and Pepper? A duo or a group?
A group.
A group. Now, when you look at Salt and Pepper's second album, it says Salt and Pepper featuring Spinderella. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And even what they're going through now, where it was like, well, Spin, you was never signed to the label. Like, you were just someone who we hired to DJ for us, type thing. So I think in my mind...
All the time, though. All the time.
I feel you. I think in my mind it comes
down. That's what differentiates it for me, is if it's for hire all the time, each and every single time. Sorry, you're kind of grouped together, in my opinion.
Right. Totally get it. And I think on the other side, I'm the flip, where it's like you have people who work for the government who are full-time employees and consultants. And the consultants don't have all the benefits that a full-time employee has. You know what I mean? Because if I have to put on the album I'm featuring you, then you're not part of the album. Like somebody posted Iron Man, it was like, this is Ray. I've never seen niggas cap for Raekwon like I have in the past week. Niggas told me Ray's second album is not Immobilarity, that is Iron Man. And I'm like, what? Nigga, do you not see it says fucking Ghostface Killer featuring Raekwon and Capadonna, like featuring, so, but again, just for trying to figure out everybody's definition of duo, because it just turned into a huge thing on the timeline with that. Yo, what's up?
Just right before we move on, because we were talking about strictly business, and I just want to take a minute. I mean, you talked about the rollout, how crazy that was, and just for me, just personally, for us, where I was, I mean, sonically, this shit was so different, right? Like, nothing was like this as far as rap at the moment. And for us, I mean, in LA, right? For real, people didn't know where they were from, because they were really playing it. Because, we had K-Day, and K-Day played it.
Right.
It was an AM radio station, played all hip hop. It was, since like mid 80s. So they played it, and we were up on all of it. I mean, my crew, we called ourselves the Bozak Tribe. We had fisherman hats with Bozak on it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this is the impact this shit had.
Yo, Vegas face though.
All right? I get the Bozak.
Oh, God. Oh, man. I mean, EPMD was crazy.
That's one of the greatest albums in hip-hop history. I mean, top 25 for me.
And for people watching, one of the reasons why it was such a big impact for people who were outside at that time was because at that time, 90% of hip hop was sampling James Brown. All of it was just James Brown. And from what I've heard with Eric and Parrish was they were just sampling whatever was in their parents' house. Yep. So you got some ZZ Top, you got some, who's the, not Bob Dylan, my brain, I Shot the Sheriff. What version is that?
Marley. Oh, the Eric Clapton.
The Eric Clapton.
Yeah,
You're sampling ZZ Top, Eric Clapton. The whole family is here. This joint right here, that the whole darn family has arrived. This joint. So the reason why it sounded so different was because they were only sampling the shit that they were able to get their hands on. So
they came with the zap, bro. They came
with the zap with the more bounce to the ounce. Like, so again, that's for people watching. That's why Strictly Business was such a crazy album, because it was just like, you're a customer. That beat was just so crazy. It's like, yo. Man. So yeah, definitely props to Eric and Parrish for that. Vay, what you got up next, bro?
All right, I'm gonna also go Kendrick, since you mentioned him. And I also start with Good Kid, Mad City because when Section 80 dropped, no one was calling it an album. Everybody understood it was a mixtape. I don't know where it's an album came from. At the time, it was a mixtape, but it's still great. Good Kid, Mad City 5, To Pimp a Butterfly 5, Damn 4.5, and Mr. Morale 4.5 for 19.
Yo, I'm not mad. I'm happy you gave Mr. Morale 4.5, man.
Yeah, and let me say why. Because also, I don't care what J. Cole said. It's not true. It's not true. I don't know where he was when it dropped. People were gloating over that album just as much as they gloat over anything else Kendrick had. Remember,
What did J. Cole say? What did Cole say?
Remember, he tried to do the flip of Mr. Morale was okay, but it was like he said something like that in that 7-minute drill that he took back, basically.
Right, that didn't count.
Right, people were running with that narrative that album wasn't that great, but I don't remember that. I remember all the hype around it, but part of the reason why I give it a 4.5 is the same reason why I kind of give To Pimp a Butterfly a 5. It's a conceptual album that's perfectly executed, and at the same time is a very personal album to him that's also like a letter to men who may be feeling some of the same things, who may have been going through some of the same things without being preachy. That's difficult to do for a whole album and make it all work as a concept. So everything didn't have to be a bop because that's not what it was about. That's what Damn was about. You know what I'm saying? So I always felt like, sure, another half mic would be a classic, but I don't think it deserved another half mic. I think it was excellent for what it was at the time. So yeah, for Kendrick, that's the highest I have, 19. So
19. All right, no doubt. Porsche, who you got up next?
I'm going to go with Kendrick, but I'm going to start at Section 80. And I do recognize that as a mixtape, not really a album, but it is his first project that dropped. And so I consider it the debut. So I'm going to go Section 80, Good Kid, Mad City, To Pimp a Butterfly, and Damn for my 4. And then I go 4 mics for Section 80, Good Kid, Mad City at 5, To Pimp a Butterfly at 5, and I give Damn 4. So I got him at a total of 18.
All right. No doubt.
And I do appreciate Vegas's explanation on Mr. Morale, because I'm one of those that doesn't really like that album. And I think it's because it was just the subject matter for me just wasn't like, I don't know. It just didn't really sit with me all that well. I just found it a little chaotic. But I do like the perspective that it's sort of a letter to men that may be going through the same thing. I think for some people, I did hear, on Twitter at the time that everyone was like, no, this is so deep. This is like super relatable to some people. And I think that that's really a nice way to look at it. So I do appreciate Vegas mentioning that.
Yeah, and the co-sign what you just said, because whenever I talk about that, people be like, "Oh man, you just capping for Kendrick," and I'm like, "Yo, one thing I don't do is cap fucking nobody, man. I don't give a fuck. I don't know these niggas. I don't get no money from these niggas. Like, I'm not capping for nobody. I just like the fucking album. I mean, if I tell people, if you don't, I don't give a fuck. Like, don't give a fuck if I like it. Like, if I say it's a 4, I think it's a 4. I like the album. Me and they went to the tour. Incredible tour. Loved it. You know what I mean? So, and again, I think the thing that is kind of it's upsetting because I feel like we want our artists. Well, I do. I want artists to be artists. You know what I mean? And I feel like nowadays, if you do that, then when there's a war going on, then it becomes, man, fuck your gay aunt. It's like, damn, like, why I gotta be fuck my gay aunt? Like, I was being open and honest with what I'm going through. Now the stuff that I'm open and honest about, now you want to throw back in my face, like. So that's the thing that's kind of like disheartening to me. That it's like, we want this. Like, that would be like if J. Cole and Fonte got in this war. It's like, yeah, that's why you and your wife got divorced, nigga. Like, damn, like, because I put that in a record, now you're going to use it against me? Like, then it almost prevents you as an MC from even wanting to rap about anything vulnerable because I'm scared it's going to get thrown in my face later on down the line, which is whack to me. You know what I mean? Like, if we doing that old battle rap shit where we face to face, I get it because that's what that shit is about. But if we just doing some old shit on wax, like to me, that's whack to me. You know what I mean? Brow's in the building. What's going on, bro?
Yo, what's good? What's up, y'all?
It's good.
Oh, man, everything good. What's popping with you?
You know, everything good. Just got home from work. You know what I mean?
Hey, it's all good, bro. It's all good. Hey,
Yeah.
working right now is a good thing, man.
Yeah.
Having a job right now is a very good thing. Matter of fact, bro, we Porsche, you just went right because you just gave Kendrick,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Bro, why don't you give us a couple of your joints, man?
Okay. I got De La Soul. Cause we going first 4 albums.
First 4. Yep.
Yeah. So I don't think it's a miss in any of those 4 that they came out with. Summit. And the good thing about it, if I ask everybody on this panel like their favorite one, most of us might have a different answer for the most part. You know what I'm saying? So that's a testament to a good discography. Ice Cube.
Well, hold tight. So what do you give them? You're giving them a 20? You're giving every album 5 mics?
Oh, I pulled a score. Man, I'm tripping. I pulled a score. All right, come back to me on that. Go to somebody else. Hold on.
All right, no doubt. I'll keep it with Daylight because that was my next joint. So for Daylight, I got 3 feet, 5 mics. Daylight Soul's Dead, 5 mics. Balloon, 4 mics. And Stakes, 4 mics. So I got with a total of 18 for Daylight. And Penny had them at 19.5. So I think right now 19.5 is Penny's. That's your highest, right? 19.5.
Yeah.
All right.
And I'm not mad at the 20, bro. If that's what you got, I'm not mad at it.
Hold on. 1 and 4. I got 18.
All right. Yeah. So me and you at the same at 18.
Yeah.
All right. Who else you got?
And I got Ice
You
Cube.
saying Cube?
Yeah. Let me see. Hold on. And for Ice Cube, I got 4.
Rel over here counting books.
18 on him.
All right.
2 5s,
2
2
4s.
4s. Yep. For
Now,
Cube.
tell me this: Did you include Kill at Will or just the
I did not, but I could have. If I included that was 5. Yeah.
I wrote it in here, like in parentheses. What
Yeah,
about
yeah.
Kill at Will? Kill.
Yeah,
Hey, Kill at Will. I mean, that should have 5 to me.
5. So if I did that, then that changes everything.
But that's EP though. But you know, he's got the first 2 5s.
Yeah, we'll stick with the album. So you got Cube at 18. All right, and then give us another joint.
One more. I got Gangstar.
All right.
And I got, hold on.
0. My bad.
Yo, Vague, you
No,
were the
like-
one person. Like I'm gonna do Gangstar too. I got Gangstar with No More Mr. Nice Guy 3.5. I actually like the album. I didn't. Vague,
really like
everybody watching, Vague does
really
not.
like
Vague, I think Vague. If you could get rid of one album, you know what? That's a whole nother show. We'll deal with that later. If you could get one album out of somebody's discography, I got No More Mr. Nice Guy at 3.5. Stephanie Arena at 4.5. Daily at 5. Hard to Earn at 5 for a total of 19.
Okay. I got 4, 9.5, 13. Hold on. 13. I got 18 for
Gangstar.
I think Daily Operation your favorite, John, ain't it?
Daily Mine, yeah. So I got that at 5.
Hard to Earn is my favorite, but
Yeah.
can't go wrong. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
All right. No doubt. I just went. So Penny, what you got up next, bro?
All right. So look, I'm trying to go down like with the count, right? To see I started at the highest. So let's see. I think next up it's either LL or Gangstar or Ogo. So let's see. I'll go with LL. So radio, I got 5.
Oh, hell yeah.
I'm old. Bad 4, but I even got here. I'm not mad at people who got it at 4.5. And I didn't hate Panther, man. I got Panther at 4.
Here's the
Panther's
crazy thing,
bang-
bro. I got bad at 5. I got LL
Oh,
with 2 back-to-back
yeah.
classics
So
for me.
I'm not bad. I'm not arguing with that. And of course, Mama Said Knock You Out is 5. I'll give it 10 if I could.
Yeah.
That's 18 and a half.
All right, 18 and a half. I ain't mad at that. Not at all. All right. Hey, who you got up next?
I'm gonna go with Ice Cube. Where is it? It's America's Most. I got at 5. Death Certificate at 5. The Predator 4.5, and Lethal Ejection 4 for 18.5.
So
Okay. All right. No doubt. Rel, give us another joint.
Well, I had LL too.
Okay, what'd you have?
5, 3.5, 5. So what is that?
18
That's 17 and a half. That's 17.
18.
It's 18.
5, and 3.5. 18 and a half.
18 and a half.
Oh, yeah. My fault. I got Walking with a Panther at a 3. So I got LL at an 18.
Yeah, and
I got 5, 5, 3, 5.
Yeah, I had
Which is still
3.5, yeah.
Which is still in this, and again, I want people who are watching to understand it's the testament to how strong albums can be. So even though I only gave Walking with a Panther with a 3, he still got 3 5 mic joints, which can bump that up. You know what I mean? Bump it up, high enough. And even though I got, again with Gangstar, I got No More Mr. Nice Guy 3.5, but they still end up with a 19. You know what I mean? So it's just a testament to how you can pull it through. P, you should have one more left, or do you have more?
Nope, I have one more.
Who you got?
Ice Cube. And I didn't include Kill at Will. So I've got America's Most at 5, Death Certificate at 5, Predator at 4, and Lethal Injection at 4. So for a total of 18. I think that matches Rel's ranking. Mike rating. Sorry.
And the last one I have is Kanye West, College Dropout, 5 mics, late registration, 5 mics, graduation, 4.5 mics, and 808 and Heartbreaks. I know I'm the only person on the world who has this at 4.5 mics.
Wow.
I loved Heartbreak. And I think it comes back to a little bit about what Vegas said, because the thing that I loved about Ye was he was always open from the shit with When It All Falls Down. I love, one of the things I loved about Ye was his openness. So once his mom's died, I was like, yo, this next album gonna be really, he's gonna really dive in. And again, I wasn't mad at the beats. And again, I mean, y'all know me. I'm more than fine with being okay with being the only person who liked it. So I actually got Kanye with a total of 19. So, and again, I know I'm the only person who's given 80. I know some people give 808s, wouldn't give it a 2.5, you know what I mean? But again, it spoke to me. I liked it. So Penny, you should have one more left. What you got left?
So I wrote more than 5, right? And there's a group here that have the same amount, and I'll pick one. Well, basically, I got Ghost, Gangstar, Mob, and Common at the same thing. But I'll go with Ghost because I have him first, and probably for a reason. Iron at 5, Supreme 5. I got Bulletproof. Like I said earlier, I had a few of these that I had to put a slash. This Bulletproof, I got 4/4.5. I love the album. And Pretty Tony, I got a 4. So it's 18 and a half. I'll do 18 and a half on Ghost.
Okay. All right. I ain't mad at that. Just wondering, Rel, do you have Mob?
No.
Okay. Penny, what did you give Mob? I'm just interested because I'm assuming you gave Juvenile Hell.
You know what? I even went back to the first album just to,
skim through it.
Just to skim through it and remind myself. I think it's 3.5. I think it's better than 3. I was going in with 3, but I bumped it to 3.5. Infamous 5, Hell 5. Murder Music is borderline 5 to me. It's 4.5.
4.5.
But I'm not mad at 5. So yeah, 18.5.
Yeah. And this is what we was talking about earlier, is that even though your first album may not have been the 5, if the next, I know people who had Mob's, second, third, and fourth album all 5.
Yeah.
So you almost about to run a Boston out there. So even though the first one wasn't good, the other ones were so good that you still could get up to 18. Veg, who you got left, bro?
Also had Kanye. So Dropout, I gave it a 4. I can't deal with all the skits.
Oh, you know what the problem is, man? Fuck. I kind of fucked up. I always rate this based off of the bootleg version, not the retail version. So the one with Old Dirty would keep the receipt, and damn, you're right.
That would be higher for me.
You're right. If I do retail version, I gotta take it down to a 4. You're 100% right.
Like they did with Bulletproof Wallace, though. That version is 5 for sure.
Yeah, the original version.
Woo!
That's 5.
5.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's so funny because I had the bootleg so long that I never really even probably listened to the retail until like later on. So yeah, you're right. I could definitely see that.
College Dropout for late registration at 5, graduation at 5, 808s at 4. So that's a total of 18.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that evens itself out with what I had it, because you have graduation at 5. I got it at 4.5. You got Heartbreaks at 4, but I got it at 4.5. So it's still, like you said, comes out to 18. So, all right, and Rel, who you got left, bro?
I got Redman.
Okay.
I got 4.5, 4.5, 5, and 3.5.
Okay.
Doc's the name.
3.5?
Doc's the name. 2000.
You don't like Doc's the name?
I won't say I don't like it. It didn't.
It's like it drops.
Yeah, it didn't. Because as you can see, like Muddy Waters, There's a Dark Side. What the album? Like I was out of there, Redman. Like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That one was a little. I don't know. It wasn't as dirty as the other ones, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, it wasn't gritty.
A little too clean for my liking.
It grew on me.
Yeah.
And truth be told, on some real shit, man, I'm not mad if somebody gave Redman 3 5s out the gate.
Mm-hmm.
I almost gave the Dark Side of 5. Like,
I think What is a 5?
What is 5, man?
Yeah, There's a Dark Side. I could see being a 5, and I didn't even like it like that when it dropped. And Muddy Waters a 5. So yeah, I mean it could go either way, but I'm not mad at nobody who came with Red straight out the door. All right, slept on joints. I wanted because I knew most of us were gonna have the same names out there. So Porsche, who is a slept on group who you think has a dope discography? Does have some numbers on the board, may not be a 19 or 18.5, but has respectable numbers, but nobody ever talks about.
I mean, I had Pharaoh Monch, but I don't know if I would say Pharaoh, because I think that like the people I talk to always mention Pharaoh Monch. Like I hear you guys all mention Pharaoh Monch all the time. So, but I think generally speaking, Pharaoh Monch isn't really talked about, especially in album runs. He's got Internal Affairs, Desire, which is my favorite album in his discography, then War, and then PTSD. And to me, that is like Internal Affairs 5, Desire 5. I'm like Penny. If I could give it 10, I would give it 10. And then I've got War at 4, and then PTSD at 4. So to me, like he's right up there with the best of them. Like the Pharaoh is he's one of my favorites. He's on my, top list of all time. His albums appear on my top list. Like Pharaoh to me is just stellar. So, yeah.
We're not mad at that. And I do agree, Porsche. I think people in our circles talk about Monch a lot, but I never hear him talked about when it comes to Dopest Discography.
Right.
So I had Monch too. I had an Internal at 5, Desire at 5, War at 4.5, and PTSD at 4.5 for a total of 19. Mm-hmm. The people I never hear talked about, even when people were like, "Oh, if the Clips drop this as 5 mic album, are they one of the dopest duos?" And people were naming all these duos, and the name that I did not hear was Billy and Little Fame, MOP.
Mhm.
People were listing all these duos. I mean, Smith and Wesson. I love The Shining, but there's no fucking way Smith and Wesson's discography is even touching
with MOP.
MOPs.
Right.
And I'm like, I just don't know how they get forgotten about. To the Death is a 3.5 mic album. Firing Squad is 5 mics to me.
Yeah.
First Family is 4.5. Warriors is a 5, which is an 18.
Warriors.
Agreed.
So the fact
With
that
that-
these dudes, I mean, I have Gangstar at 19. I'm trying to just find duos. Of course, we got EPMD at 19. We got Outkast at 19.5. For MOP to be 18 and their name not to be mentioned with
Right.
all these other duos is like fucking crazy to me, man. Like crazy. But to me, I think it just shows me a lot of people aren't MOP fans. Like people know Annie Up. They know this, but they probably never heard First Family for Life. You know what I mean? They probably never heard Downtown Swinger, the OG. They probably never heard Downtown Swinger, the remix. You know what I mean? So just I think MOP is a very slept on group with a slept on discography. Had their own style, amazing production. And at the end of the day, nobody's ever fucked with MOP.
Incredible
Like
live
that,
show. Incredible live
Yeah.
show.
Yeah, live show is crazy.
Realest live show.
I believe
know,
it.
These niggas got off of Rockefeller. Ain't nobody say shit. Got off G Unit. Ain't anybody else on G Unit. Somebody had beef with somebody. Somebody was throwing shots when you got off Rockefeller. Nobody threw shit MOP's way anytime that they left the movement. I remember when Fame got married to the white girl and everybody was like, nobody saying no goddamn word. Like we ain't saying shit. Because nobody want no smoke with MOP. So it's like, keep it moving.
Yo, let me just
What's up, babe?
Let me throw in one quote that solidified that for me when they got off of Rockefeller. And I think it was Fame. And he said, they were asked, like, well, what if they didn't let you out the deal? He was like, well, me, Dan's, and Fox was just going to run up there and go to war with everybody. And I was like, damn, he was going to fight everybody in the building? Like, he only named 3 people, and one of them was a shorty. Like,
Right.
So-
R.I.P. Fox too. She passed away recently, so definitely R.I.P. to Fox. Penny, who's a slept-on discography that nobody talks about, but the numbers show different?
All right, so when you hit me up about that, and I was thinking about it, I also knew that I had, an extended list that I kept going, right? And I think some of these we don't talk about, like BDP, like PE. And I also had Q because I didn't think people would bring him up, and I'm so glad that everybody did. But to me, this is like, what like Porsche was talking about. When it comes to like your favorites, you might be a little bit, a little. So to me, Sean Price, the first 4, I mean, the third, the last one, whatever, right? But like when you're talking about Monkey Bars and maybe Jesus Price Superstar might be the best one, and then of course Mike Tyson. I mean, to me, those are 4.5/5. Like they can be that for me. And then the last one, maybe 4, maybe, something like that. So Sean Price, definitely RIP.
Yeah, that's definitely dope. Vague, who you got for a slept-on, John?
Since Penny named 5 and like took care of like a couple.
Oh my bad, bro.
I had Pharaoh Monch down for sure. But I also had Public Enemy because I think people tend to zero in on It Takes a Nation, and maybe they'll remember another song here and there, but don't really know what album it was on. But from Yo Bum Rush the Show,
yes, sir.
It Takes a Nation, Fear of a Black Planet, and 91 Apocalypse. It's like, yo, that was their run, and they had joints on all of them.
All of them.
So I just don't think they get enough props for that run of albums as opposed to the golden goose in their collection,
Yeah. Nah, that's a dope point, man. I know with me with Yo Bum Rush the Show, and I don't know, I wonder if other people felt this way. everybody was playing Terminator X, which we thought it was called. It was, of course, called Rebel Without a Pause. But in Philly, we just thought the name was Terminator X because that's what the chorus kept saying. And I remember going to the record store, buying Yo Bum Rush the Show, and getting home like, yo, I don't see Terminator. Like, and then it was like, yo, it ain't on this fucking album. Fuck this album. And then it took me some time to really listen to it. But the album is really, really dope. You know what I mean? And I just wonder how many other people may have felt that way and just never went back to it, you know, after It Takes a Nation. But I mean, the Title Cut, Public Enemy #1. God, I can't remember anything, but it's an incredible album. Yeah, My Uzi Weighs a Ton. Like, there's so many bangers on there. But again, I just always wonder other people. Time Bomb, that's what it was. Time Bomb. But I just know, like, we was all pissed because it was like Terminator X ain't on here, and that's all we wanted to hear. You know, which is kind of crazy because it was on the 12-inch of You're Gonna Get Yours, which is another dope song that's on Yo Bum Rush the Show. It's on the 12-inch of it was on the B side of 12-inch of You're Gonna Get Yours. And then the same thing with the last one with You Can't Trust It. Yo, You Can't Trust It was dope, man. Yo, that joint was hard, man. Yo, the video too. The video was like, again, you know what I mean? So dope, very dope pick, Vague, on PE's discography too. Because like you said, it's like Nations of Bust. And after that, it's like, you know, I posted something on Instagram and I had Burn Hollywood Burn, and somebody was like, yo, what's that shit? And I'm like, yo, motherfucker, you never heard Burn Hollywood Burn with Cuban Kane? Like, dog, like 911 is a joke. Like, yo, y'all gotta step up y'all hip hop game out here. Ralph, who's a slept on discography that needs more props?
I got Heavy D.
Nice.
Oh, very dope pick.
He gets the collection plate when it's all collected.
Yes.
Give it to Rel. Rel came in on like Eddie Kane, came in late and left with the collection plate, man.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so you got Living Large, you got Big Time, Peaceful Journey, and Blue Funk. I got for me, I got
that's a run.
4.5, 4.5, 4.5. So that's how I got it. All four. Well, actually, I got 4.5s for Heavy D. How I rated those up.
Not mad at that.
That's dope. That's dope. Now let's do this because Rel hit me this afternoon and it asked me a question. It was a great question about like where could we start at? But I also wanted to look at some of these long careers, like because before we even go there, so who taps out? Who's the top of your list? So Porsche, who ended with the dopest discography number wise for you?
It was a tie between Outkast actually ended up higher. Sorry, Outkast.
All right.
Yeah.
Same with me. Outkast ended up with a 19.5 with a 19.5. And I'm looking at EPMD because they had a 19, but Business could be a 5 mic. Fuck it. I'm going to just leave it the way it is. So I got Outkast coming out on top with a 19.5. Penny, who ends up with your highest rating?
All right, so it's De La because, you know, like I said, I had 19.
Yeah, you got 5 across the board. What? They ran to Boston.
No, I mean I had 9.5/20 because Stakes 4.5 or 5, but I won't argue a 5. But Eric and Ra also had 19.5. So De La and Eric and Ra got 19.5, but I put De La ahead because I will give them a full 20. I won't argue that.
Nice.
All right, no doubt. And Vague, who ended with your list?
Kendrick. He was the only one I had at 19. So
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
And Ralph, what about yours?
Looking at without De La.
De La.
Number one for me.
All right, man. And it's funny because I don't really hear a lot about De La's discography too, which is kind of weird for them to end up with the highest score from 2 people. And, you know, people really don't talk about their discography as much, which is kind of strange. Like,
it's probably 2 people that weren't like affected as much by it not being on streaming until very recently. It's probably 2 people that are very familiar with the music that had it. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, I think that's the gap. That's the gap.
Right.
Even people who know the music, you know, you don't talk about it because, you know, it wasn't being played all the time, and then they just dropped everything. Everything is out there. There's no excuse.
And you know what I think it is too, Penny? I think Tribe just made, I don't want to say, they made better songs. And that's not a knock to Daylight, because I think Daylight has incredible songs. Daylight has a better discography than Tribe has, to me,
I think
hands
they
down. It's
made
not
better
even
albums.
close.
Yeah.
But I think whereas Tribe has electric relaxation, I don't know if Daylight has that. Like, I mean, we could throw the Buddy remix in,
Buddy,
but I don't know if they have.
Saturday.
When you think of Check the Rhyme, but I'm just talking about, like, if I'm at a 90s hip hop party or if I'm at homecoming, they throw on Check the Rhyme, people gonna lose their minds. If they throw on electric relaxation, people gonna lose their minds. If they throw on scenario, people gonna lose their minds. I don't know if you throw on Buddy the remix, people will lose their minds.
Me, Myself, and
But
I. People won't
nah,
bug
you
out.
will not play Me, Myself, and I at a Morgan party. No, that will shut
Morgan
shit down.
party. My
Most
bad.
people
I didn't hear
know
that.
hated. Yeah, hated.
I didn't hear that.
Hell, I hated Me, Myself, and I on MTV Raps after a while. But I just don't think that Daylight has those type songs. Like, I love Ring Ring Ring, but I just think Tribe is like the golden child of the native tongues. And we did a show about standing in the shadows of. And it's like, Goody, you probably will never get their props because they're standing in the shadow of Outkast. You know what I mean? And it's hard for people to look past them and be like, it's hard for people to see the Goody Mob without mentioning Outkast because they're in the same crew. Like me personally, Jungle Brothers is my favorite group from the native tongues. My personal favorite. Nobody else in the world is gonna fucking say that shit.
No.
They're just not. You know what I mean? Most people I know have never even heard Done by the Forces of Nature. I know some people who've never heard everything out of Straight Out the Jungle. So again, I think just Tribe is by them being there. Maybe if Daylight was in another crew, they would get more love. I've heard the same thing with Hyro. Like, Casual don't get as much love because everybody loves Souls of Mischief. Like, when you think hieroglyphics, most people think Souls of Mischief before they think about Dell or Casual. You know what I mean? So I think that may be why Daylight doesn't get the love that they deserve, because I do think streaming has something to do with it. But I know dudes in our age before there was an internet who wasn't screaming Daylight's name as much as they were screaming Tribe's name. You know what I mean? Not saying it wasn't well deserved, but I know, like, when I'm thinking about their singles, Break of Dawn, I love it, but it wasn't a big single. You know what I mean? It wasn't a war tour. You know what I mean? When I think about now, Stakes is High, that was a big ass single. But I think what hurt them too, was they were in that beef of fuck that bad boy shit. You know what I mean? Like, yo, fuck the Versace glasses. And it kind of like they got lumped in that J-Roo shit. So then a lot of people was looking at them like, oh, they haters. So I think that may have affected Daylight even more than the streaming stuff. Because I know a lot of people I know hip hop heads who was like, fuck that Stakes is High album. They just hating type thing. So that may have hurt them too. But keep in mind, I love Daylight. I'm like with you right there. But I was just trying to sit here and wonder, like, why don't they get talked about as much as, you know, the average female knows electric relaxation. The average female, I don't know if the average female knows De La Soul like that.
Yeah, no, they had bigger songs. Tribe had bigger songs, bigger impactful songs. But like we just said already, I mean, it's facts. They made more albums, and I think they overall have a better discography.
And I mean, at the end of the day, we still haven't even talked about which is another 5 mic album from them, which is this. I love Grind Date.
Yeah, Grind Date is dope.
Crazy.
You know what I mean? So I mean, people still haven't even talked about that. But let's,
Hill, real quick. I think one of the things when the De La Soul book came out, and like me listening to all the albums and ranking the albums, and you know, to be clear, the book wasn't necessarily about the reporter's opinion about him, even though he had one. It was also research and reporting of facts of things that happened, things they've said in the past, motivations for their music, things like that. And I think with De La, what kind of hurt them versus Tribe came across a little bit more relatable, whereas De La was trying to prove something with every album, right? Like, we're not that flower stuff you tried to label us. We're not suckers, right? Like, they always felt like they had something to prove, but they wound up changing their style every time. So it was sort of like you either liked them or you didn't. You know what I'm saying? At some point,
Right.
they weren't consistently 3 feet high and rising. They were more consistently a little moody. You know what I'm saying? A little bit judgmental, also, just by listening to the music and the skits and stuff like that over time. Still dope, but Tribe was more like Fife. You could relate to a dude like that. Like he reminded you of somebody you went to high school with, and he rhyme and he's into sports and stuff like that. And Q-Tip was like a abstract dude, right? Like I'm gonna put the seashells on with the taco meat showing, but we know a guy like that. You know what I'm saying? So I just think it was the personalities that kind of came out in the music. And to your point, De La got to a point where they was, I think Stakes is High is dope. But once they started talking about what was popular, it was like, well, yeah, of course y'all wouldn't like it. Get the fuck out of here. Y'all don't like anything. You know what I'm saying? So some of it was their doing, but still, I'm not mad at the scores because the music was the music. So
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. And that's a great point on them changing, because I think it's similar to Outkast, because if you went into De La's Dead, wanting 3
right,
feet high and rising, you was like, what the fuck is this? And if you went into Balloon Mind State wanting De La Soul's Dead, like they changed every time. Similar to Outkast, but it's just, again, Outkast made big songs. Outkast can make a Mix Jackson. Outkast can make a Bombs
right.
Over Baghdad. Outkast can make a So Fresh, So Clean. Like Outkast can make Elevators. Like, and like that's the thing. So I think that's a piece of it. But let's talk about these long careers. So Nas, 18 albums from 1994 to 2023. What do you all think about Nas's discography just throughout time? I mean, do we give people Porsche? You told me we can't give people passes. I asked you this question before, and Porsche is hard body. Like, nah, they put the shit out. It is what the fuck it is. Because I was asking, should we give them a pass? Like, yo, niggas have record labels in their ear. Like, you need a radio song or you need this. Can we look past the bootleg joint for I Am? And what if it was the original Lost Tapes? Then does Nas have 3 albums, 3 classics in a row? But for what he's done, what do you all think of Nas' discography as a whole? Porsche, what about you?
I mean, to be honest, I think Nas has a very strong discography. Even with the lows, his highs are very high. His ceiling is higher than most, and his floor is, I want to say, like high, also higher. Like he is a very, very able and, I want to say, like almost like a brilliant MC. Like I think he tried things to see if it would work, to see if it would stick, and some of them didn't, and some of them did. And I feel like Nas is great at a lot of things, and we see those things across the discography. I think overall, despite the lows that are low, his highs are just very, very high. So to me, it kind of overall gives him a good rating for discography, even though he's got quite a large amount quantity wise.
And because he has so many albums, we really can't rate them. But just off of what you said, how many mics would you give Nas's discography?
I would give it at least a 4, at least, like maybe even a 4.5. For to go through the decades that he did and the span of time that he did, it's very, like I would be very like inquisitive as to why someone would give it lower than a 4. I would really have to have a conversation about, like, why do you think that he's lower than a 4? He's not lower than a 4 to me.
Right.
Yeah.
I with this 6 album run he just went on, I gotta give him a 4.5.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm the one person in the world, me and Kanye and Northwest, or whatever her name is, are the only people who like the Nasir EP. Everybody else hated that shit. But yeah, that run he just went on, just definitely, I mean, Nas, if I have to pick an MC, like, not because a lot of the people we were naming were groups. I mean, we had Outkast, we had De La, we had Gangstar, we had EPMD, So if I had to say, like, what MC has the best discography, I mean, I'm looking at Nas. at a strong 4.5, and especially based off of that run. Because I think if he ends his discography at the Nas Nasir album that nobody liked, I mean, it may be a 3.5, 4. You know what I mean? To end on that note, like to end your career on that note on something that a lot of people didn't like, but to come back and do what he did, it's definitely shit. I may have to give it a 5. Can I give it a 5? I don't know. No, because I'm sitting here thinking, because I'm like,
don't forget that.
What's that?
You got Nostradamus in there.
Nah, you're right. I'm just overthinking shit, because I'm just sitting here thinking, if I'm giving a 4.5 after a 6-album run in his 50s, and he was coming off Life is Good, like, I'll say 4.5 for now, but he's got a hell of a fucking run. And it really is about that Hit Boy thing. That Hit Boy thing, to me, is what puts it over the top.
I agree.
Penny, what do you think about Nas's discography?
I mean, I don't really disagree, but like, if I think about someone else who I revere as having a great discography, an extensive, really good one, like, what potholes does Ghost have?
Let me see.
And how did they compare to Nostradamus, Nasir? What's the other joint? And let's not forget that, like, even though I liked all these albums, but I was here when it was coming out and people were like not liking them, and on Twitter when people talking about them. Stillmatic, not so much. God's Son, somewhat. Street Disciple, it's half people like it, half people hate it. Hip Hop is dead. Half people like it, half people hate it. Untitled.
Wait.
Life is good. Some people like it.
Penny, when you say Stillmatic, not so much, do you mean?
No, not so much, meaning no issues. It's
no issues. Okay, got it.
Yeah, no issues. But like, people have had issues with all these albums, and like a lot of times I have to defend some of these because there's some joints on it. But I don't know if I'm going down Ghost and there's as many potholes, and there's a whole lot of high moments, but maybe not as well, like widely revered. You know what I mean? Like Nas maybe reached further. I don't know. But Wu-Tang is what's bigger than Wu-Tang? And he has the most discography, the best discography in the group.
That's very true, but I'm looking at his joints here. After Fish Scale in 2006, More Fish wasn't doing it for me.
Come on.
Big Doe Rehab. It's dope, but it's a big difference between dope and the highs of like Nasir. Because you said, what's the difference between Nas and Ghost? You know what I mean? And I'm like, Big Doe Rehab, nah. Ghostini, Wizard of the Emerald.
Big Doe Rehab is a million times. I mean, look, this is opinions, but it's way better than any of the low moments that Nas has. Whether it's even those joints that are 50-50, like Hip Hop is Dead and that. Big Doe Rehab is a great album. Maxine is on there, yo.
I mean, yeah, it's good, but Ghostini was the Apollo Kids, 36
Yeah,
Seasons.
Ghostini is
Ghostface Killers. To set the tone, here's the wild part. This fucking album just dropped last year. People talked about that album for a minute, and then it was gone.
I know.
You know what I mean? Whereas again,
recent hit. I mean, series of hits. So he's got it. I get it.
But then when you look at what Nas has done recently,
yeah,
that 6-album run to me. So when you say what separates the two, to me it's that 6-album run. Like almost, if we gonna talk about Jay-Z next again, which separates, like, you know how like in Star Wars they be like, we got to go to warp speed or some shit like that. We don't go to warp speed, they're gonna kill us, and then you go to warp speed. That to me is what Nas and Hit Boy did. You know what I mean? So if Nas never did that, I'd be with you on the Ghost. I mean, I still probably won't be all the way with you, but I can understand it more. But that 6-album run up against Ghost just dropping the album last year that people talked about, and the only song people really talked about was the joint with him and Nas. That was the only thing that they talked about. Now, Ghost does sound amazing on that fucking Ray album. I will say that.
I haven't heard it.
Oh, it's a very good album.
Yeah,
and it actually has
treat myself
for the Supreme clientele too. Vague, Nas, what do you think of his discography? Well, I'm sorry, Penny, how many mics do you give a Nas's discography?
I mean, 4.
Okay, not mad at that.
Maybe, but 4.
Yeah. All right. Veg, what about you?
I give it a 4.5. I think the difference between him and Ghost is we talk about 18 albums from Nas, and a 6 album run like that in 2.5 years, nobody else has done that. Revered by generations, not just us, generations. Young cats is all Nas now. Like it's just, and don't get me wrong, I didn't really like Magic 2 like that, but when going back to it, I didn't like it because it was different from everything else. So it doesn't really sound bad to me. It just wasn't what they had been doing sound wise, beat wise, and all of that. And I think with Nas, even though there's some so albums in his catalog, I think the standout whack ones out of 18 albums is only 2, and that's Nostradamus and Nasir. And Nasir is mainly because it sounded like he was rhyming out of pocket, to be honest, because it didn't sound on beat as we saw when he dropped King's Disease, and then it was like, oh, there it is. You know what I'm saying? So that might have been a technical thing on Kanye's part with the matching the vocals up. But yeah, like there are albums where I like more than others. There's some classics there. But to your point, if he would have ended with Nasir, then it's more like a 4. But when you do that at that point in your career, and it's 6 of them joints, and people debate all the time, like whether it's King's Disease 3 or Magic, and they're called classics at this point in his career, nobody else is doing that. Even my GOAT, LL Cool J, is not doing that. So I think he has, Portia said it, he has a solid, for having 18 albums, he got a solid collection that you could flirt with a 5, even with a whack album, because it's 18 joints. You know what I'm saying? If 1 or 2 are whack out of 18 albums for decades, that's saying a lot. You know what I mean? For artists where we haven't seen that before, basically. So
the crazy part is I got a Best of Nas mixtape, and then I got a Best of Nas and Hit Boy mixtape, which is crazy to me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I could take them 6 albums and just make a whole hour-and-a-half ride out list to that, which is crazy. Rel, what you think about Nas? Vay, you said 4.5. Rel, what about you?
Nas discography. I want to say 5. You know me. I want to say 5, but I gotta be, honest about the misses. You know what I'm saying? But like Veg said, like 18 albums, like I don't know anybody with that many amount of albums where all of them was crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like especially through the time frame, you're bound to have a miss here and there. And I think he, like Portia, I think he did try some things, and they didn't work out. Some did, but anything below 4.5 for me, I don't understand. It gotta be for me a 4.5 at least, because like you got everything in there. You got classics. You got, like, one thing about him and a couple other artists, like the comeback when you put out something and it's not what everybody like, and then everybody's down on you, and then they come back with something crazy. Like LL does it all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is impressive to me with somebody with that long of a career or whatever. And then you add on the 6 album run, kind of put them over the top, because you know what I'm saying, before that you there was other people you'd be like, but doing that at that age, 6 albums, he gotta be a 4.5 at least.
All right. Next up, we got Jay-Z, 14 albums from 1996. Last one was 2017. Porsche, what you giving Jay? What we looking at? We got some, and again, I think the hard part is that when you have, I think once you get over 10 albums, you're gonna have some highs and lows, because you've gone through some eras. You had to make some music that was tailored for this audience at this time, and you've had some changes over time. So I mean, I think with Nas and Jay, they're both gonna be some highs and some lows. P, what do you think about Jay's discography?
To me, Jay's discography is a little bit more dodgy than Nas is, for example. I think he has more lows than he should for someone of his caliber. And when Jay doesn't hit, it's really bad. Like it's pretty brutal for me. I'm not one of those people that loves the volumes. I don't love volume 1, 2, or 3 that much. I think they're okay. They're not like, I know some people think they're classics. Some people, have them on the top list. So for me, I'm looking at very dope albums. I've got with Jay with a few like 5 mic albums. And then he's got some okay albums, and then he's got some really bad albums. So all together, I give Jay about a 3.5 to 4 overall. But I think 3.5 is being a little harsh. I would say probably I hover around 4, but I'm not mad at 3.5.
And my bad. Let's go back and do this because I'm just thinking about this now. It's off the top. How many 5 mic albums? How many classic albums do you give Nas, P?
I give 3 and a pass. I would say 3 absolutes, unquestionable, and then maybe a couple as time passes.
Okay. Penny, what about you? How many classics do you give Nas?
I mean, Illmatic, it was written. What else is classic? No, I mean, help me out.
Well, I mean, I know for me, I got. See, I don't have Stillmatic, but
I do.
And this is the wild part for me, and people may disagree. KD1 is a classic to me. I still listen to that all the time. Magic is a classic to me. I listen to that all the time. And maybe on a fucking great day, KD3 to me is a 5 mic classic. Like, that to me is what's so impressive about this run, because I know some people out of this 6 album run, to me, he has at least one classic in the 6 album run. I'm not mad. I'm about to give him 3. So I'm not mad at somebody. I know some people who say KD2 is a classic too. So I think that in that 6 album run, there's at least 2 classics. So I personally have Nas. I'm gonna just fucking say it. I've got him with 5 classics. Illmatic, It Was Written, KD1, KD3, and Magic. What'd I say? Why everybody laughing?
I'm not laughing.
Just me and Babe.
Wait till you
I
hear
just
my
looked up and everybody was laughing.
Just me and
P,
Babe.
I know you gotta get ready to rock. P, always great seeing you, sis.
Yeah, you too. Thank you so much, guys. It was really good to see all of you. Penny, really great to see you after so long, and hopefully I'll see you guys next week. Take care.
Yes, ma'am.
Bye, guys.
All right, so I'm sorry. So what did I miss? Why we was laughing?
I'm just waiting to get to my turn, but it kind of ties in what you were saying and why I laughed.
I'll let Jay go.
All right, Jay, what's up?
I'm with you, Kill. I got 4 classics. Illmatic, Illmatic, It Was Written. Ironically, Magic and King's Disease 3. And that's the point I was making. I'm like, you got 2 classics like now, which is crazy to me. And originally I was kind of like, because the old head in me is like, nah, it's too soon. Shit just came out. Man, I can't deny how much I played them shits. The feeling behind it, the hype on social media, like the way people feeling about the clips. When Magic came out, you would have thought it was Illmatic. Like, that's how everybody was getting on it. But I would give them 4.
All right. And Brad, what about you?
I got Illmatic, It Was Written, Lost Tapes, Stillmatic, KD1, Magic. 7. I got.
If we're doing Lost Tapes, then I got 5.
Yeah, goddamn. Yeah, if we do a Lost Tapes, man, that just ups the ante even more.
Yeah,
Penny, what were you gonna say?
Oh no, I wasn't gonna say nothing. I mean, look,
Okay.
it all comes down to why I was laughing earlier was the opposite. Because I like those records, but they didn't hit me like it hit y'all.
Right.
None of them. I mean, some of them doper than others, but the 6 run, I liked them. They were nice records, but they didn't hit me like that. So, but they were dope, and the fact that he came. All right, something. I'm sad she's gone right now, but she said, Porsche said, how Nas maybe some of his albums weren't as successful because he was trying new shit, right? Somebody else who did that in his career a lot was LL. And I think LL was also not successful, probably even worse, because he would try crazier shit. But Nas would try some crazy shit. And to me, the reason I said earlier I would defend those albums, because I appreciate that shit. You know what I mean? Because I think we get on people because they do the same shit. We get on people when they switch their style every time. But to me, it's like, I give him credit for that. And the fact that he was here doing this through, from 13 to 6 to 18 album, doing that, and it was recognized like that, I was just loving it. But it didn't hit me like that. But still,
yeah, I feel you.
Still, I give him, and he probably does have the best discography because of that run. You're right.
Right. All right. So the J, I got Jay with 4 classics: Reasonable Doubt, Blueprint, Black Album. I'm the only person who loves American Gangster. I got him with 4 classics, and I would give Jay, oh god, I would probably give him a 4. I would give him a 4. If I'm giving, I may have to give him a 3.5. If I'm giving Nas a 4.5, because I feel like Jay. See, I wasn't a big fan of the Hard Knock Life. I wasn't a big fan of Volume 3. I wasn't a big, and again, when I say big fan, I'm not saying these albums weren't good. I'm just saying I didn't love them. I didn't love Dynasty. I didn't love the Blueprint 2. Kingdom Come, nah. The Blueprint 3, hell no. Magna Carta, 444. I don't know. And I feel like he would have to do a run, because I felt like he got to do a run to kind of step up. So right now I'm going to give Jay a 3.5. I know the Jehovah Witnesses are going to come for me on Twitter, but so be it. Penny, what do you think of Jay's discography?
Reasonable Doubt, Blueprint, Black Album. That's it. But I like some of the I like Volume 3. I like some shit that a lot of people don't like. I think Jay, it's facts. It's with the hits. The dude always knew how to come. He just always knew how to come with the next sound, with the next hit, with the next producer, with the next whatever it was. For a while there, it kind of seemed like maybe he got tired of doing this shit. But yeah, no, his discography is up and down. Even though I love Dynasty, bro. I think Dynasty is one of the strongest shits on there. But I'm gonna say 3.5.
All right. Veg, what you thinking, bro?
I think I give Jay a 4, because I feel like his high points are really high. And, there's some albums that people don't care for that I liked a lot. Like Hard Knock Life and Dynasty. But I think he has 3 classics. I think it's Reasonable Doubt, Blueprint, and American Gangster. And mostly because like his even though certain albums he was elite rapping, like Volume 1, for example, like Where I'm From, like this is elite Jay when he rapping. Yeah. It's just that his chances were terrible on that album. You know what I'm saying? Versus I think Hard Knock Life, he kind of found his rhythm and then went on from there with the party joints. Yeah. But yeah, I would probably give him a 4, because even some of the later albums, like I like the way he was rapping on Blueprint 3, but I didn't like all the features and I didn't like some of the beat choices. But a lot of stuff he was saying, man, I was feeling that shit because like he said, Hove on that new shit. Niggas like How Come? Niggas want my old shit. Buy my old album. I was like, thank you. Like, niggas don't have to stay the same. But that's why I kind of liked it. It didn't match up with what the Blueprint was. And I like 444, but I ain't gonna lie. I never go back to it. And I don't know why.
That album was just horribly mixed to me, man. Like that. Yeah. That's the problem with that album. I don't know how that got out the gate. If I feel like the way we talk about this Clips album, the way that's mixed, if 444 I think was mixed like this, like when that reggae joint came on, I was like, I know my speaker's about to bang, and it was like, damn, they not banging. Like, yo, who the fuck mixed this? Like, Guru, what happened, nigga? Like, we supposed to be hearing rattles right now, but I feel, bro, it feels weird to say 3.5, but I just feel like if I give Nas a 4.5, and a lot of that is that 6 album run, I feel like a 6 album run, and I'm naming 3 of them as being classics. That 6 album run got to be worth than half a mic, though, right?
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? Because
that's why it feels so weird. Because I'm like, well, I can't give Jay a 4, because if I'm giving Nas a 4.5, and the reason why, like, going back for people watching, the reason why I'm saying it like this is because these two are the best. This isn't the Trae Young is getting the all-star team. I'm saying he's as good as Jordan. Nas and Jay are kind of like the Magic and Bird. You know what I mean? So that's now why I'm like being so picky now, because I'm like, that 4 album run got to be at least worth a mic for your discography.
Look, I feel like I'm on the other end of it, right? I really want to give Nas a 5.
Right. That's what I feel.
6.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like Jay's discography is strong enough for a 4. But to your point, that puts him so close to Nas. Nas might as well have a 5.
Fuck it. I'm going Nas a 5 and giving Jay a 4. That's what I'm going to do. It didn't sit right with me. I'm sitting here like the numbers, the math ain't mathing. Like, this ain't right. Because here's the thing. With a 5 mic album, I'm not one of the people who believe every song has to be perfect. She watched Channel 0 and Prophets of Rage are not great songs on It Takes a Nation of Millions. I still think it's a 5 mic album. I think it's one of the most incredible albums ever. Not hip hop, just music genre of any kind, but it's not perfect. So even though Nas got some duds, I'm gonna throw a 5 on it. I got 5 on Nas. I'm putting 5 on Nas and 4 on Jay. And
you know what? Me and Kill got the same birthday. Guess what? I'm putting 5 on it too. Okay,
there we go. Double down on it, nigga. That's what we gonna do. We gonna double down on it. Rel, what about you with Jay?
So preface this. My Nas 4.5 was close to being a 5. Like, it was like right there. And now me putting Jay at a 4, it kind of makes sense for him to be at a 5. But I say Jay 4, and I say he got 3 classics: Reasonable Doubt, Blueprint, American Gangster. I think one thing Penny said about Jay was where he was like, he always keeps up with the trend or keeps up with. I think some of that started to become a detriment. It started to become shit we ain't want to hear from him. You know what I'm saying? Like, and features that we really didn't want to hear on some of these albums. You know what I'm saying? And I think that kind of hurt him later on. You know what I mean? But like I really like Volume 1, but the highs on Volume 1 are real high, but the lows are some of the lowest in his career. You know what I'm saying? So that's like a weird album. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Going up Reasonable Doubt, it just was a weird album. You know what I'm saying? But like Vegas said, like, where I'm from is peak Jay-Z. You know what I'm saying? That's like, you know what I mean? Like, so he got like a weird, it's weird judging his discography, because he got some misses that like, he got some
misses
that was like real, yeah, like both of them had it, but like, man, like, cause like 444, like, this just was boring to me, bro. Like, I ain't gonna lie, like, it wasn't like, this shit is super trash. It wasn't like that. It just was like, all right, I listened to it a couple times. I never go back to the genre. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was like that, you know what I mean? And then a couple of albums had too many songs on it and too many features, so that kind of took it down. But his high, I mean, it's Jay-Z, his highs are crazy. So, and for the people watching, 3.5 is not whack. Let's get that out of the way. If you remember the source ratings, 3.5 says what under it? Dope, right?
I want to say dope a little bit. I know for me it's classic, dope. 3 was good. Yeah. 2 was alright. 1 was, so I mean, if you're 3.5, then you're very good. It's a very good album. Yeah. You know? But we do know in 2025, very good basically equals trash. Yeah. So it's either you're a classic or you're not. So
right.
But so, like Rel said, if you got 3.5 or better in the source, you weren't going up to the source beating nobody up.
Yep. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I got
and for
I got
people watching, there were times when people would go up to the source and beat people up because of the mic rating that they got. So, what were you gonna say, Bob?
I say, yeah, I got a four for Jay.
All right. And the only other two people who I had that I'm glad that you guys brought up were LL and Cube. With LL with 14 albums from 85 to 2024, and Cube from 90 to he just dropped the album last year in 2024. So that's dope. That's dope. Dope show. Everybody go home. Oh, what's up, bro?
Sorry, I got one sleeper.
Yeah.
Scarface.
Dope pick, bro.
Scarface has a really good discography. Really good discography. I didn't go through to rate it, but I know it's several albums from Scarface that I like a lot. And I think like The Fix is a classic to me. So yeah, Scarface slept on discography as far as somebody that's been at it for a long time.
Right. Hell yeah. I mean, hell, I heard the Ghetto Boys from what, 89? I was in 10th grade, maybe. You know, so yeah, that's a minute to be in this game. All right, Penny, tell them what's going on. For people who may not know, my brother here is an incredible actor. You know what I mean? He's been in feature films, just was on Law and Order. So Penny, talk about what's going on. Where can they get at you? Your agent? Where what's going on? What's cooking up right now, man?
I mean, right now it's summertime, man. It's kind of slow, to be honest. But you know, it was a dope year. You know, some opportunities came up. We'll see. We see what comes up for in the end of the year, because things heat up like right after August. You know, so I'm gonna go home for a couple of weeks in August. So yeah, right now I'm just chilling, doing the summertime thing. Definitely sharpening the sword always. You know, I'm in the studio that I work out of, acting studio. In the village, so just doing that. Shoot, I'm only on IG right now, so Peanuts, PNUTS _ Baton, BITTONE.
All right, so yo, if y'all out there cooking up any movies, indie scripts, anything like that, this is my guy to get at. Very dope actor. Rel, what's going on with you cooking up? Where can they get at you, bro?
Uptown Rel 215 on Instagram, JBen215 on Twitter. And X, whatever. And I just been, doing the dad thing, taking care of my daughter, and it's an important time in her life, you know what I'm saying? So we doing that, and about to start working on this project with Vegas. So be on the lookout that pretty soon. But yeah, that's it, man. Bless.
All right. And Veg, what's good with you?
All right, you can follow me on social media at Vegas World INC, and you can check out my podcast, Hip Hop Now Podcast, right here on YouTube, News and Perspectives. Also, I was trying to remember what I was doing next, but I'm not going to talk about that just yet. Some interview opportunities, but also, yeah. Soon, I've been collecting some bars for me and Rel projects, so I'm just counting the bullets. That's all before we start to go in. So
yes, sir.
Be ready.
All right, and y'all know what it is. Kill 889 Twitter, IG. Want to shout out Ben Pedroche has a dope book, independent as fuck. Underground hip hop from 1995 to 2025. He was going to be on the show tonight. I didn't realize he was in the UK, so we're going to try to get him back in on another show to kind of talk more about his book. But it's a very dope book. It's on Amazon, so definitely check that out. And Rel, here's some pieces me and Nate found when we was digging in Philly. The 12-inch for Roxanne. If you look closely, you can see the sound of Market right there. Like, you know what I mean? This is why I won't even take the plastic off, because Sound of Market $3.99 for a 12-inch, like, which is crazy. And then you got Cash Money and Marvelous. This was Sound of Germantown for $2.99. Which is crazy. And people can't really probably even see the mixer right there. This was an old school Gemini joint. I wanted bad as hell. Not
look at the kicks.
I was just, that's where I was about to go.
Alpha.
Look at the kicks.
That's the Alpha.
You know what I mean?
Yes,
So
sir.
definitely Cash Money and Marvelous, some dope 12 inches right there. But that's what it is. I will catch y'all next week, good people.